Hello, I'm Preston James the Fourth, Professor Preston James the Fourth. I currently live in Denver, Colorado, in the United States. So, ni hao to all the Chinese students. I'll be talking about sports management, in particular, talking about being a sports agent and what sports agency is. So, we'll go over sports agency real quick. Agency law, the law that applies to and explains the relationship between principal and agent. Agency law specifically defines the rights and responsibilities of both principals and agents, the authority of the agent as he or she works for the principal, the creation of the agency relationship itself. So, what you have is you have the primary, let's say you're the athlete, I'm saying, and then you have somebody represent them, I'm saying. So, you have the principal and the agent. So, therefore, you would be an agent of the athlete, I'm saying, so a representative of them. Agency relationship, it goes with the relationship between the principal and the agent. So let's talk about when did agency law start, or dealing with athletes. When did that start? Well, I would beg to differ. It probably started way back in the caveman days, but we know for sure that during the Roman days, the Roman era, the gladiators represented different houses. So you looked at them and Ben Hur, and you watched the chariot races. You watched them race on the old movies. You say they had different colors. Well, think of that as a modern day NASCAR. So they're then. But the first really known agent, anybody know who that would be? Well, you may know of the golfer Arnold Palmer. I'm saying Arnold Palmer and Mark McCormick. Mark McCormick started IMG. You may have heard of that. It's a worldwide agency. That was in the 60s. But not everybody will like agency law. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. You won't answer right now, but I'll ask you a question. Do you think that everybody likes agents? I would say no. Because if you're the principal, if you're the one that needs the help, great, say yes. I guarantee you I can negotiate a contract better than you can. Because I've been trained. I'm saying. But the teams deal with athletes all the time. So they may be better equipped to for the business side of things. So an agent really is there to help bring a business side to the player, to the principal. Now, we'll talk about professional sports here in the U.S. And generally I ask questions. So according to this is an old stat though, but minor league baseball had more than 300 agents, but only 3,363 players. National Basketball Association, NBA basketball. They had 350 agents, 438 players. So can you figure out? That's almost like only most agents have only like one player they represent. The NFL, which I was certified by the NFL, 850 agents, 2,568 players. In the NHL, National Hockey League, number of agents 150, number of players 804. So roughly about 8 times many players as there are agents in that case. So as you see, there aren't a whole lot of agents, and most agents only represent one player. So you may see movies and you see this lifestyle, but most agents probably are lawyers as well, and they supplement the income of being an agency. You have the few like Drew Rosenhaus who represent 109 football players in the NFL, but the majority of agents only represent one player, if any at all. So, what are some of the things that an agent may do? One is negotiate employment contract. So when a guy get a contract with the NFL, do that contract. Negotiate concession agreements. If you're an agent for a stadium, you may negotiate a deal. Represent an organization in negotiations with sponsors. So if you have a client, like a basketball player or a football player, and you have Nike want to endorse them or whatever it may be, you negotiate that contract as well too. Basically, securing investment and appearance opportunities. As an agent, some of the things I've done. Appearance fees for my clients. Negotiate their contracts with the teams, contract with endorsements. Some do public relations. A lot do marketing. All those different things you may do in working with an athlete. So let's talk about let's see. What gives you the power to represent a person? I just can't say, hey, I represent Michael Jordan, can I? No, I can't. So what must happen? First of all, you must have a contract. A contract stating what my duties are. That is called actual authority. It says that Preston James, myself, has authority to represent client, whatever the client may be. I'm saying, so that's how that works. Implied authority. What's implied authority? That gets a little more trickier. Well, you assume that if I have the actual authority, if you see I'm doing your deal, let's say with Nike, a shoe company, then implied authority must mean, well, if he's doing my deal with Nike, when I get a specialized deal with them, he's doing that deal as well too. Why is that? It's implied. If you already did that deal, nothing said you aren't doing anything else, then it's implied you can do this deal as well too. So Nike can live off that. Nike can live with that and say they assume that I was your representative for that part as well too. Okay. Let's see. Let's go through this real quick here. Now, what's ratification? Ratification is, let's say I have a contract with you to do your deal for a shoe company, right? But Nike has different apparel. But I just said shoe. You can ratify the contract to say, okay, yes, it's ratified. He represents us as far as apparel as a whole as well too. Now, what are some of the duties as an agent? What are my duties as an agent? And representing an athlete, and representing this little guy here, and representing an athlete, little Preston here, and representing an athlete. What are some of my duties? Well, I have a duty of obedience. I must do what my client wants me to do. I have a fiduciary duty. Fiduciary duty. What is fiduciary? I must put my client's interest, this little guy's interest, ahead of my own. You know what I'm saying? So I have fiduciary duty. So I shouldn't be making money if he's losing money. You know what I'm saying? I have a fiduciary duty. Duty of loyalty. If he says cut the deal, I must cut the deal. Again, duty of obedience. Must do what they ask you to do. Now, what if they ask you to do something that's illegal? You have to do that? The answer to that is no, because you cannot contract for an illegal act. You can't contract to be a hitman. You can't contract to give somebody drugs. There's not a contract there. Well, no, the same thing. And if you can't contract, it's not legal. You can't contract for it. Let's see. Something we'll discuss about as well is there are state laws in the U.S. There's state laws and federal laws. So there's no uniform act where everybody's working together. Now, who governs? Now, when you're an agent, you have to be certified, right? The NFLPA, National Football Players Association, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, MLBPA, Major League Baseball Players Association, and NHLPA. They govern what the agents do. They govern how much the agents make. They govern how we are to respond and act, and they basically can. They also do the I'll say. They govern over everything we do, and they discipline as well too. So if you lose your license or certification for some reason, they do that as well too. What happens if you breach your contract? You breach your contract, you break your contract. Break your contract, then that means that the PA, which is the union, can then come with you and explain, and you can lose your certification as well. Besides, some people have gone to jail for basically commingling of funds. Commingling of funds is I take my little bit of money I have as an agent, and I take the athlete's money, put it with my money. That's the commingling of it. I'm saying. So, and dealing with agency law, one, there's no commingling of funds. You keep the funds separate. I'm saying. And dealing with the unions, which is the players association. Those are basically unions, and dealing with them, they govern. Remember, they govern the standards for the agent. So you take a test for the NFLPA, NBAPA. You take a written test, and you get certified, and then you're able to represent the clients. But now you have to go out and get the clients, and dealing with clients. How do you go about getting clients? That's the hard part. Everybody wants to be an agent, but you're not an agent really until you have a client. You're not representing nobody. Different ways about doing that. Basically, most time the players are coming out of college. People have a relationship with them already, and they start forming relationships with them before they're out of college. I get a lot of recommendations for myself. People hit me up and say, "Hey, we know a person that needs representation," and I'll get them that way. But most time, the agents, the big agency firms, have basically farmed people, so they have an idea who they want already, and they've gone out and they've fully have engaged with representing that person for a number of years actually. So agency law, let's go over that real quick. Agency laws, you have a principal. This guy here is the principal, and I have the agent. I represent him. Remember, there are certain duties you must have. A fiduciary duty. I must put his interest ahead of my own. A duty of obedience. I must listen to what my client wants me to do. And let's see. And for the most part, that covers agency law, dealing with athletes and agents in the United States. Again, deal with sponsorships. You'll do it. Agents deal with sponsorships. Agents are all across, not just deal with one athlete. You can represent different individuals, but that's agency theory. Agency theory basically is you have a principal and you have an agent, and the agents act on behalf of the principal. So that's agency law for you there. I explained a little about being an agent for you there as well too. Oh, the percentage. Agency and the NFL, well, in the United States, and the NFL is maximum 3%. NBA is maximum 4%. I believe MLB is 4%, and so is the NHL. And so basically you get that percentage, and you can have a lower percentage in your salary, what you make as an agent. You can't go higher than that. Obviously, why do you go over to get lower? Well, if you're making $5 million, 2% of $5 million is a lot more than 4% of 500,000. So that's why. So, okay. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure. Hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I've enjoyed myself. I'm a true edutainer, and if it reaches you, individuals in China, I wish you all the best. Any questions, look me up, Dr. Preston James IV, and you have a good day. Bye-bye.